Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Well, I thought I would just throw this video together really quickly to talk about something called the money market diagram to give you an idea of understanding what it is. And this is a critical little thing for you to know in order to understand how the supply of money is going to change over time. And of course, like in economics, they can throw anything on a graph to make sense of it, and you'll find out that this is super helpful. So here we go. Well, check it out. It looks like pretty much just a supply and demand curve. However, it has this very, very inelastic looking thing right here, which is the supply of money curve. Okay, so this is the market for money, or the money market, like saying the chicken market. Here is the supply of money, and you'll notice that it is perfectly inelastic. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you got a green line cruising down here, which of course is the demand curve, but demand for what? The demand for money. Okay, down here is the quantity, right, of money, and over here is what's called something called the nominal interest rate. And the nominal interest rate over here is referred to as IR1. So at this part, the money supply here, where the demand curve of money and the supply curve of money intersect, of course, you're going to have, boom, an established price of money. And remember, the interest rate is really the price of money. So at this interest rate, here is the quantity of money that will be cruising around, be supplied to the marketplace. Okay, so let's talk about the supply of money here, right? So currently, of course, the supply of money is this vertical line that's determined by the monetary policies of the central bank. Okay, the reason that it's perfectly inelastic is that central bankers, they don't respond to changes in the interest rate. No, they set the interest rate by controlling the money supply. So what this means is that the money supply is here, right? They want an interest rate of, say, 1%. If the central bank wants an interest rate of 2%, what are they going to do? They are going to restrict or cut the supply of money. If this is 1%, they are going to, and they want a 0.5%, they are going to increase the supply of money, which will create an interest rate that is much lower. So they demand, so the central bank dictates the interest rate rather than respond to it, which makes the supply of money curve perfectly inelastic. Okay, check out the demand curve, right? The demand curve, of course, slopes downward because at lower interest rates down here, households and firms will demand more money. That makes sense. The cheaper the price of money, the lower the interest rate, the more likely people are going to borrow money. And if you don't think that's true, I'll tell you a real quick personal story. I bought a house here in Chile, and I was thinking about buying a house, and I went to the bank, and I said, hey, what's the price of money? What's the interest rate on a 30-year loan for a house? If they had said 10%, I never would have bought my house. Because the price of money is too expensive, and I would have had to pay back too much money over time for me to be wanting to do it. But I went to the bank and they said, oh, it's 3.8%. And I was like, what? Okay, sure, no problem. So I became a demander of money from the Chilean system because the interest rates were so low. Okay, so as interest rates go up, less money is demanded. As interest rates go down, more money is demanded. Beautiful. A shift in the demand for money, this will happen if there is a change in the total output of a nation. So the demand curve can shift back and forth, and in subsequent videos I'm going to show this to you. But at higher levels of output, more money is demanded, and the demand curve would shift outward. And as a result, what would happen? There would be a new intersect here. If let me draw it. If the demand curve moves outward, somewhere like this, right? So that's D2. What's going to happen to the price of money? It's going to go up. Look at that. Right up to here. There's going to be a new nominal interest rate somewhere up there. And the opposite's true, of course. If there's a cut in output, less money will be demanded because people will be holding back, or maybe there's higher rates of unemployment. Oh, that's a terrible line. Higher rates of unemployment, and you will have a situation where the interest rates goes down because the demand for money has changed. Okay, so I'm going to get more into that in another video, but there you go. This is the basic money market diagram. So have that in your mind, and you'll be able to understand subsequent videos that talk about shifts in the supply and shifts of the demand for money. All right, my friends, I hope you found this video to be helpful. We'll talk to you in a bit.